Thank you, everybody, for tuning back in. The time has come. We get to review the coveted driver site, and I'm apologizing now because I don't have doves and bright lights coming out of the box, but maybe in editing we can do that. So this is how the Axcel Driver will come. Very nice pistol case design this year. Lift up the foam, you get all your site tapes and instruction manuals and whatnot underneath. But enough with that. Time for the site. So I'm going to take our two parts out, move our little box out of the way. When you take the site out of the box, your yoke attachment is going to be slightly tightened, so you're not going to be able to just slide it in. Jesse was smart enough to help me remember to loosen this beforehand. But this is the Axcel Driver. This model in particular is a 5-pin 19 thousandths with the Picatinny mount base, and it has been a very kind of antsy, if you will, wait to get this sight in. Extremely lightweight. If any of you are familiar with the landslide from the last 2 years, this is the kind of Jenny Craig version of the landslide. So you're getting the same AccuStat 2 housing with a micro yoke. So you get the same rheostat cover to help illuminate or dim your fiber optics. You get clear fiber optic tubing, which I love. Not a huge fan of having the frosted tubes because then you're a little bit too reliant on a rheostat. At the rear here, you have all of your 5, in this instance, your 5 different Allen heads to crack loose, and then you are able to run your micro adjust dial here to micro adjust your pins up or down. I'm going to leave the housing off to the side for now, just so I can give you a little bit easier look here at the site. You do have the kind of skeletonized down Picatinny mount. You can get out very large on that, so it's a little bit easier to go on and off. I tend to go really loose on this when I click it onto my bows, and then I snug it back down, making sure it's mounted to the lower portion of the Picatinny mount. I don't want it floating in the middle to change my zero. Extremely large dial here on the side. If I loosen this, that is your lockdown. And then I have full adjustment on this dial. And yes, you probably just noticed that I only had to turn my hand almost 3/4 of a turn. So here, that is just a quick 180 and then a little bit more, and I'm all the way. So I get full run of this sight with very little movement up and down. You do have a new in-track zero stop. So you don't have the standard zero stop that you had on the side. In-track zero stop, you have a lot of different taps going down the sight here so that you're able to not only micro adjust the zero stop, but you're able to adjust it for slower speeds or for higher speeds, depending upon what your setup it is. You also have lower taps here. The popular option, in my opinion, is going to be to install 2 of these zero stops, one for min and one for max, so that you don't start sending arrows through your housing, because that's awkward for everybody when that happens. You do get 3 machined indicator needles. That is huge. Instead of them just being kind of a cast pot metal, you get 3 machined indicator needles. I will do the small disclaimer. They're extremely sharp, so don't stick your finger in there because they're very sharp, similar to some other sight manufacturers that we reviewed in the past. Very good lockdown here. If I lock that down, I'm turning pretty darn hard and I don't want to break the sight. Flick it up, go straight back to easy movement. You do have a flipped, in some of the original pictures people saw that it was on this side. They decided, let's throw it over to the inside of the sight for your lockdown on windage. So this little lever here, you press it down, and that unlocks the micro adjust clicks for the, what would be micro windage, and then your yoke that goes in up here is your macro windage. And then you just flick that little guy back out. Now I can't turn this. You do have adjustment on all three of your needles there. You get metal sight tapes like I showed at the start of this. You do get the different metal sight tape run. You have smaller Allen heads. I like that because it's not the Phillips head from kind of the past days of their sights. I always had to carry a little eyeglass screwdriver, so it's really nice that they went to the Allen heads on here. You do get larger and much easier to access third axis adjustment right here. I love that because normally you had to come in from underneath the sight and we had to get the little Easton stubby wrenches or remember where we put the wrenches that came with the sight. And it was always kind of a pain in the butt because everything was housed up in kind of this area of the landslides. You do get all the different zero position or rail position attachment points on here. You get your micro adjust first and second axis right there, so you're able to, I crack the lower one completely loose and then I give it a little bit of a snug back, and then I barely crack this top one loose because it is a pivot off of that top attachment point, so you're able to really fine tune in your level. Your first second here is what controls the first second axis on your housing. Some people are going to make mention and say, well, why would they be conjoined? My quick and easy answer to that is because TrueBall is the name, or TrueBall Axcel is the name of the game when it comes to precision. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If this is square off to itself, your housing is going to be square off to itself. They are an extremely, extremely precision-based machine company. They not only do archery parts, but they do some major precise machining for different aspects of their company. And there's a reason when you look at the Vegas shoot, ASA archery events back east, if any of you watch competition archery media, there's a reason you see everybody running TrueBall Axcel sights, is because they set the standard when it comes to precision, and there is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The sights are coming in anywhere from, I believe it is 7 and some change ounces all the way up to high 8-ounce range, so you really, really get lightweight on this little guy. I mean, I'll put it in my hand. Very, very tiny, very, very lightweight, but extremely durable. I had a guy the other day that bought one, and he said, well, is it going to break at your quick detach housing point? And I took this sight and I pressed on it super hard, pressed on it super hard. We checked, it stayed level, no real problems there. Like I just made mention of, you do have that little recessed screw right there. When you take that out, it QD wedges off your entire housing. So if you were going to be doing any travel to and from a hunt, I would highly recommend loosening that screw out to being flush with the body, and then this whole portion would come off, which would have your housing mounted through there, just to make sure that none of your axes get messed with when you're in travel. Takes away that lever point to where third axis isn't going to get messed with, or even housing rotation is going to get messed with. So we really can't say enough. I believe it was a week and a half ago, we got 20 of these, and we're down to about, Jesse can correct me behind the camera, probably like 6 or 7. And that's just in Picatinny mount 19 thousandths pin configurations, whether it was 3 or 5 pin that we got. We're expecting to get a lot of them in here soon. I know I just placed the order and it's in the high 50s of sights per order. So we're expecting to get some soon. We'll fulfill all of our orders that we have in-house pre-orders. So if you don't have your desired configuration on pre-order with us, I would highly recommend doing that. Feel free to call in or stop by, and we'd love to get one put on pre-order for you, because these are one of the new hotnesses for 2025. All of them are up on our website, so you're able to see specifics of them and see kind of what photos are going to look like of each different variant. But we really can't say enough about this sight. Extremely lightweight. It is helping to go along with kind of the way that bows are going to where they're starting to all kind of live in that lower 4-pound range, and everyone's wanting to keep bows into that kind of 7.5-pound range when they're fully built. And this is going to be a key part to that. So I love the sight. I've been running the Landslide for the last couple of years. I am going to be switching to one of the drivers. Like I said, we're going to be getting somewhere in the mid to high 50s of sites here in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you're getting everything placed on pre-order with us. For all of you that are not located in the great state of Arizona, we do have free shipping on our website. So any order you place on our website, we do have free shipping, and generally it gets fulfilled within 24 to 48 hours. So feel free to go to rossoutdoors.com and we will get you taken care of. Jesse behind the counter is our main man when it comes to all of that. So we would love for everyone to come in and get their hands on the sights. We have no problem taking them out, showing them, letting everybody go hands-on to make sure that they're knowing exactly what they're getting themselves into with such a precise piece of equipment. So we would love to see everybody come on down. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to us at either our downtown or our West Valley location. We'd love to answer any of your questions, and we hope to see you soon.